Hello, and welcome to Marketing Solutions for Local Businesses, the podcast where you will discover all the latest and greatest digital marketing tools, tips, and strategies you will need to implement in order to stay ahead of your competition. If you are not getting the results you are looking for from your digital marketing efforts, this is the podcast for you. And now, here's the host of our show, the local business guy himself, Frank Deming.
Hello, everyone. This is Frank Deming, the local business guy. Welcome to another episode of Marketing Solutions for Local Businesses. Happy Wednesday. Happy hump day, everyone. I hope you guys are having a rocking week thus far. Today, I'm going to go a little deep. I'm going to go a little deep into something that I talked about a little bit last year, but I think I'm going to talk a little bit about it, a little more about it this year. And that is display advertising. So let me give you a little history before I get into it about display ads. Display ads used to be just a branded mechanism. And to some extent, it probably still is. However, we've developed over the years, it's becoming not just for branding, it's also because of the technology that helps us, it's also becoming a lead generator, a pretty good lead generator. So it's not just Google Ads anymore. I remember back in the days, Google Ads was the king when it comes to lead generation. And it still is to some extent. I mean, you could do Facebook ads and everything like that still too. But by far, in terms of lead generation for converting into businesses, I still think, and I don't think I'm wrong on this one, that Google Ads is still king when it comes to that. So, but we've come up with a way where we can combine the Google Ads along with display ads. And it's really working well. And I want to talk to you guys a little bit about that today. And then hopefully expand upon it throughout this season. As you guys know, we're in season 4 of this great podcast. We are already in the 3rd month, which is the last month of the quarter, if you can believe that. And this is some good information that you can take into quarter number 2 of 2023. Okay. Now, before I go into the content, into the details of the content, I want to remind you guys that if you are looking to really take 2023 to a different level, if you want to, we're already almost done with quarter number 1, but if you want to start doing it in quarter number 2, I invite you to give us a call, 888-416-7752. Ask for me, Frank Deming, and we will sit down and do a brief analysis of your business. I really would love to understand how your business is operating. I would love to understand, not only that, I also would love to understand, how we can help you get the word out more about your business. Again, 888-416-7752. But if you're an email person, go to info@lbmsllc.com. Or if you're really bold, just head to my website, lbmsllc.com. And then on the bottom right-hand corner, you'll see something that says schedule a 15-minute discovery call. Either method of getting a hold of me will help me connect with you, and so that way we can see what we can do for you in 2023. All right, without further ado, let me continue on with the content, because I think this is an important thing for lead generation that I think you should start thinking about and or doing for your law firm. Okay, now one of the important things about how display ads can actually help your law firm stand out is that it actually is a way to increase your brand visibility. Excuse me. Looks like I got tongue-tied this morning. I don't know what's going on. Anyway, it's a good way to increase brand visibility. Okay, you want to place your law firm's message in front of the potential clients across the web. Period. And that's going to increase your brand awareness and recognition. That goes without saying. However, you want to do it strategically. And this is where display ads have, over the years have really been a go-to mechanism for me in terms of helping, you, the attorney, really get leads out of your brand recognition. It's just not visibility. Okay. And it's all about search intent. So the technology helps us determine where we should place those ads. So it's not just display ads and then, okay, have fun. That was the old way of doing it. The new way of doing it is only display the ads in front of people who have shown an intent in the past. So if you had done an Alexa search in the past, if you had done some searches on your phone in your past, if you had done some searches on the computer in the past, whatever that is, if you've done some searches that relates to your niche, whether you're a divorce attorney, a personal injury attorney, criminal law, wrongful death type of cases, if you've done any kind of cases like that, and we can go back as far as 18 months, but we normally narrow it down to 6 months. Those are the only people that will see your ads, your display ads. And we can also create videos to couple up with the display ads. But, it's a little bit more advanced. However, this is the new way of doing display ads. So you can turn that brand visibility into actual leads, because the only people who see it is the people who have had an intent in the last 6 months. Powerful, powerful, powerful. Well, if you do that, your law firm is going to stand out. That's just one. I'm just tipping the iceberg here, okay? Number 2 is targeted messaging. So you target specific audiences, like I said before, based on the factors like location. Okay. So if they are in your area of where you practice your law, you want that, you want that ad to be shown up. Okay. Interest, like I said before, they've typed some sort of interest in that niche in the past. And behaviors. So by behaviors, I mean, I'm talking about data profiling. There are certain people who do certain things that hang out in certain places. So because everything is interconnected, your phones, your computers, your televisions, everything is interconnected in some kind of way, I am able to track behaviors. And based on behaviors that people do, I'm able to also deduce that this person is probably a good candidate for your law firm, and place ads in front of them, display ads or video ads, whichever way, but some sort of display that they say, oh, that's interesting. I was just thinking about that, and now I see this ad. That's the good thing. So it basically, but here's the thing. Because you know their interests, you know what they're typing, how cool is it that if you can put a message that reaches that person at that time, the exact same thing that they were typing, not exact, but, similar words that they use in front of them with a display. That's powerful. That's called targeted messaging. And that is why I love this new way of doing display ads. And that's why, again, it's another way of creating that lead. Coupled with a pay-per-click advertising campaign, you guys can crush it. I'm only talking to the attorney or the firm that's looking to dominate their industry. Because if you're not looking to dominate their industry, you don't want to do this, okay? Because you're going to get a lot of really good results in a fairly quick amount of time. If you couple this with pay-per-click and SEO and every other thing that I be talking about on this show, you definitely will dominate your local market. Okay. So we talked about increased brand visibility with display ads. We talked about targeted messaging with display ads. Now we're going to talk about greater control. Here's what I mean. If you want to gain greater control over your ad campaigns, including ad placements, say budget and messaging, you want to do it with this method. Here's what I mean. You can actually determine what I mean by ad placement, with gaining control with ad placement, is you can determine where your audience, because the technology is there, folks, you can determine where your audience is most likely to be hanging out. That could be Hulu. That could be Sling. That could be all these different data platforms that, based on the searches that you've done in the past, or they've done in the past, and now you've got that person locked in. Okay, this person has been doing this religiously for the past 6 months. Watch these type of shows, do this, and then only place the ads in front of the show that they're likely to watch. How powerful is that? You can also determine the budget and gauge your budget around the timing of the ad. Here's what I mean. Case in point, if it's a premium time, for instance, back in the day, well, not back in the day, still doing it like this. When you show an ad on, say, 8 o'clock prime time on TV, they used to charge you $1 gazillion. They still do. But this is not like that, because this is only showing the ad for the person at the time that they're they have historically shown to be watching this program or doing internet searches at this time, whatever that is, precisely at the time. And that's the only time they will show it. So if they break out of that habit, let's say, and they start searching the internet early, or watching a different show at a different time, or what have you, they won't see it at that time, but they'll see the ad at the time when they normally see it, if that makes sense. That's controlling your budget, because you're showing it when historically they've been available to see it. That's controlling your budget. It could also optimize your ad campaigns for maximum impact doing it this way, because again, you have so much. We can collect so much data of your ideal customer that we know. We do this because we want to save you money as your advertising with us, right? So we make sure that I don't want to show this ad spending your money crazily. Again, the downside is if they break their pattern and they're searching on the internet at a time that they normally don't, or doing Alexa searches or whatever when they normally don't, you don't get that opportunity. But how the problem but that's not an issue, because what happens is we are able to show that happens probably 10% of the time. So 90% of the time, you're going to capture their attention, and you're going to get them when you need to get them versus when you don't need to get them. Okay. So I want to give you some examples of how law firms can use digital display ads. Okay. And this includes stuff like promoting specific practice areas, let's say. So if you're, let's say your major law firm, you've got certain practice areas and they're doing fairly well, but there's one or two particular areas that are not doing well. You can use display ads to promote that particular specific practice area that can boost up that department. I don't know what you guys call it, but it could be a department, your practice area, that entity, et cetera, et cetera. That's one way that you can use display ads in your law firm. Another way is, again, we talked about targeting audiences in specific geographic locations. So if you opened up a new office, or maybe you have an attorney that, because now a lot of people are working from home, right? And even attorneys, they're working from home, and they say, you know what, I want to start working with people in my community. I want to start building this area. Or maybe if you're thinking about going towards that area, you can start doing some display ads specifically in that geographic area. That I've seen that's a more traditional way that we've done it in the past. Doing the practice area specific with display ads is kind of new. We've been doing that for the past 2 years, but the geographic locations, we've been doing that, quite some time now. And another way is using retargeting to reach people who have visited your site. That's a good way, because if they have visited your site in the past and they have these behaviors on the internet that we talked about earlier, that is definitely premium person. So when that, and we could talk about this a little later, but when you do that, even if they're not searching at the optimum time that they normally search, and remember I said you don't have to show them the ad. Even if they don't, here's the beauty of that: when it's a retargeted ad, we still show them the ad. So that's pretty powerful. Anyway, that's about all I have about this episode. I hope you got a lot out of it. It's very important that if you're working with a digital agency, ask them about this. Okay, ask them. Say, hey, do you do display ads? Do you do it this way? If you're not working with a digital marketing agency, I would love a phone call, 888-416-7752, and I can show you how we can implement something like this for your specific law firm and for your specific need. If you got a lot out of this episode, do me a favor, share it with someone that you think can benefit from it, or maybe you can just benefit from it and post, share this on your social webs and say, hey, I got a lot out of this episode. I thought it was really cool and I want to share it. That will help me grow. That will you'll be doing me a solid, as they say. Okay. Anyway, without further ado, I am going to put an end to this episode. This has been Frank Deming, the local business guy. Until next week, take care and bye for now. Peace out.
Thanks for listening to another episode of Marketing Solutions for Local Businesses, the podcast where you will discover all the latest and greatest digital marketing tools, tips, and strategies you will need to implement in order to stay ahead of your competition. Don't forget, any links that were mentioned during the broadcast will be available to you in the show notes, so be sure to grab them while you have the chance. Incidentally, if you have any topics that you would like for us to discuss on the show, be sure to send an email to the email provided in the show notes, or click the Contact Us link and let us know what topic you would like us to help you with, and we'll be sure to add it to our schedule. If you would like for Frank and his team to look at your digital marketing presence and give you a free evaluation, simply click the Request a Free Consultation link in the show notes to get a hold of them. That being said, until our next episode, make it a successful digital marketing day. Peace out.